Hi, it's Winton Churchill with the Barefoot Consultants, and tonight we have Michelle Wollenzein on the call. She's one of our certified barefoot consultant professionals, and Michelle worked in corporate America for 16 years. She branched out into consulting, decided that consulting for her was just like the hamster wheel of corporate America, and she and her husband got together and made a plan. And they headed in a direction that would help them see some of the light at the end of the tunnel. She had sold her house, her cars, and moved outside the United States in, was it 2016, Michelle?
Yes, it was 2016 we moved.
Very good. So welcome to the call, and good to have you here, and welcome to the birds in the background. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Hi, Winton. Hello, everyone. I happen to be here in sunny Puerto Escondido, which is in the state of Oaxaca in Mexico, and I'm living the full Mexico experience. So you're going to hear a little bit of birds, maybe a dog, but I think that's already stopped. And you just never know what's going to happen, but the birds are here to stay. So
great.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, tonight you're going to talk a little bit about the art of proposal writing, and this is a topic that so many people struggle with, and I think that the presentation that you've prepared really hits on some of the points that people miss. They you know, we've had people read different parts of our training program, watch different videos, and this is one of the ones that they say sometimes, wow, I just didn't see that, or I didn't quite realize that. And so with that, I'd like you to charge in and tell us a little bit about how we can improve our proposal writing.
Sure, absolutely. So, you know, you've already have your professional overview on Upwork, and you've scanned through some jobs, and you found a couple of jobs that interest you. So what do you do now? It's time to write your proposal and submit it. On Upwork, it's called a cover letter, and it's the same thing, but we call it proposal. Just wanted you to know that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide you with some solid, proven tips on how to write a good proposal that stands out from other freelancers who you could be bidding against. So if you can remember that proposal writing is a skill and shouldn't just be a half thought, you're on your way to successful bidding. And so what you need to know is it's important to thoroughly read each job description word for word to understand the expectations of the job. So as you read the job descriptions, what you want to do is you want to make notes of keywords, skills, and language that the buyer uses so that you can mirror their language in the proposal.
That's so good. So, you know, a lot of times people think that responding to a job is, you know, you as the freelancer telling them about you. And that is a recipe for disaster. A lot of the proposals that we review for members start out like, you know, I was in nursing for 16 years. I did this, I did that, I did this other thing. And that's just the way to, you know, swirl right down the drain in the freelance buyer's mind.
Right. So really the purpose here, and this is, you know, this is the freelancer's time to shine. But to shine, we want to make it about the client and not about the freelancer.
Good point.
So, you know, there's bad proposal writing and there's good proposal writing. And a bad proposal would be a freelancer copy and pasting from one proposal to the next without personalizing and tailoring each proposal to this buyer specification, to each buyer specifications. For example, as a client, I have reviewed proposals and it's dear madam or sir, and you can tell it's a copy and paste. It's a one template, one size fits all. And that really doesn't work. So when a freelancer copies and pastes proposals, keywords are excluded attention to the job description and to the buyer is unclear. And so the bottom line is that you're not putting thought into the job, which means you're not putting thought into the buyer. And that job will most likely be rewarded to another freelancer. It could cost you a good job.
Very true.
So when you're writing a proposal, you want to speak the buyer's language. And this proves that you can understand their expectations of the job. It proves that you can identify with their business style and their lingo. And it shows that you're probably a good fit for them. So I have here, it's just a snapshot of a job description. And I highlighted, the focus here is what I did is I highlighted some key words that will be mirrored in the proposal. So, for example, this buyer needs somebody to help keep him stay on task. He's a transformation storyteller. He has a website. It's called Majidoo.com. So all of these highlights, when I say you want to take notes of skills and keywords and expectations, this is an example of what you would do.
Yes, and I think what you've done here is very helpful to people. I recommend a lot of times you cut and paste the job and put it into something like Microsoft Word and highlight the key phrases. You know, I've seen people that will take a proposal or a job like this, and they will completely go back and parrot the whole thing back like a robot. And that is as aggravating as just putting a cut and paste generic proposal in there.
Right.
What you do is you want to think of this like seasoning to a meal rather than, we wouldn't want to eat, 6 ounces of salt, but salt is a good seasoning on some things. So very
Right.
good point here. You can see the relative small amount of stuff that you're going to be playing back in the proposal, but it's the things that are really important to the person that put the job up there. They took time to include this in what they were writing, and so it is important to them.
Right. And one thing I want to note is in the very last sentence, the communication is through a program called Zoom. So this is the buyer's preferred method of communication. And if you don't know what Zoom is, Google it. And, there's a tutorial on how to use it. But it's important that you understand how they prefer to communicate.
Right. Sometimes we'll get a question like, can I use Skype, which is what I use? Do I have to, figure out how to use this new system and that kind of thing? And the answer is yes. It's kind of when in Rome, do as the Romans. And if somebody's saying they want to communicate by Zoom, that's probably a disqualifier if you don't know how to communicate with Zoom. And Zoom is a very easy program to use. We have people, I know, Michelle, you work with clients on that. People click on a link and they're set up and ready to go within a minute or two. But stuff like that is important. And if you don't accurately reflect that you're going to be able to work in the way they want to work, they're going to throw you out of the running, even though you may be very qualified in other areas.
Right. So now we're going to move to the proposal. So this proposal is mirroring back the language, and it has a couple of extra bonuses that I'll go into in just a minute, but it's basically, it says I went to your website. It looks interesting. I'm going to keep you on task, support your goals. I'm strong in the use of social media, which was in the job description. And it says, hey, view my profile, and I look forward to hearing more about your projects. So what the key takeaways from that proposal is really one of the most important things is that the buyer included a website, and the freelancer went to the website, and they expressed enthusiasm and interest about the website and the job. Hey, your website about spiritual storytelling looks interesting, right? They mirror the job description and expressed competency in the skills listed in the job description. And then lastly, they provided a call to action. Visit my employment history and my other experiences so that you know you will have a strong collaborator. Another thing you want to do is you want to include or attach a relevant portfolio sample if that's something that you can do. And you can use that as a call to action as well. Review my attached portfolio sample to see a sample of my work. So really what it comes down to, the art of proposal writing, is that you want to practice, and you want to practice, because the more you practice, the better you get. It gives you the experience, and that experience is going to build your confidence. And really, the confidence is going to, it's going to result in a good proposal that will get you a job. So really, the more that you can practice and submit proposals, improve as you go along, the better you become. And then it just becomes, first nature.
Right. A lot of people don't realize that as they're getting started on these networks, that they're going to bid on between 10 and 20 jobs before they get their first job. And taking the information that Michelle has shared with you will really help accelerate that process and improve your averages of winning jobs, because you're really speaking to the essence of what the freelance buyer wants rather than giving them vague generalities about your ability to do the job and that sort of thing. So this has been very helpful. I really like that you make the point that this is practice. It's not something that people tend to be naturally good at when they get started, but after you do 3, 4, 5 of these, you get very much better at it. You could use when you start winning jobs, you can use those successful proposals as guidelines, not copy and paste, but guidelines for future proposals. And that makes sure that you include everything that you need in there. So that's great. Well, Michelle, if
Yeah.
anybody has any comments or questions on this, we've got a link in the chat window, so you can go there. We've also got it on the screen here, and they can reach out to you and get in touch with you in sunny Puerto Escondido and or wherever else you might be at the time. And so really appreciate this. And any closing comments?
Using this information is probably going to help a lot of people get started. And this is probably one of those stuck points.
Mm-hmm.
You have your overview, you're looking for jobs. Okay, now what? Again, you can reach out to me. Good luck to everybody. Get out there and start writing some proposals.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.